Great friends, delight giving friends, wonderful sadhakas, shrotas, welcome. Let us study together Yoga Vaashishtha Maharamayana Shastra invoking the Kripa of Bhagavan Vasishtha and Bhagavan Rama so that the moksha jnanam that's given in the text is understood, assimilated, digested, lived by us for actually experiencing Aham Brahmasmi Mukta Anubhuti in this very life. Third Utpatthi Prakaranam Leelopakhyanam. In that Leela Janmantara Kathanam Varnanam 27th Sarga. Leela recollects her past 800 lives. Out of them, few she starts narrating. We are listening them only to just become aware for ourselves that we also, as a Karta Bhokta, as a Jiva, in our ignorance of our essential self, through the various Punya, Papa, Uttama, Dhamma, Dharma, Adharma, karmas performed, knowingly, unknowingly, prompted by Kamanadi, Krodhadi, Lobhadi, whatever. As a result of all those karmas, we also go through those different janmas. Now, janma, marana are beginning and end. They are not the purpose. Purpose is in between that. Janma and Marana, the variety of the Sukha, Dukkha, Labha, Hani, Jaya, Parajaya, all which we go through are the result of all these karmas, which in Vedantic parlance called as samsara. And also the Vedanta says that need not be our lot. We can transcend them and be in that eternal blissful self. These are the techniques based for that. Vedanta says, should we understand or not, accept or not, know it or not, live it or not, it is our choice. In fact, it is a choiceless choice, but we take a choice and we don't make use of it. That is our ignorance or delusion. Come out of it, use the wisdom, make use of these blessings, facilities, transcend and realize that possibility is there. Again, choice is yours. Let us see what are her earlier lives Leela went through. Few of them we saw yesterday. Continue करेंगे. Om 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 Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Om Yairime Guruvehi Purvam Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam Om Nidaye Sarva Vidyanam Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Om Vidakila Shastra Sudha Jalade Mahitopanishad Kathitarthanidhe Hrudaye Kalaye Vimalam Sharanam Bhava Shankara Deshikame Sharanam Om Brahmanandam Parama Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Parabrahmane Shrutimatre Samasta Brahma Bhakti Yoga Dharma Vidya Acharyebhyo Rishibhyo Munibhyo Gurubhyo Devatabhyo Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha Sri Ramachandra Parabrahmane Namaha Vasishtadi Rishibhyo Namaha Sankalpaha Tesham Sarvesham Krupa Anugrahena Upanishad Yoga Vasishtha Maharamayanoktha ब्रह्मात्मैक्यमोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थम सनातन धर्म से विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थम धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम श्रीराम मंदिरवत शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनर्वाप्तितेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रुविघ्न समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे चस्माद् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिकैन्दव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सुसंप्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पितसत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयाः तेषां हृदये पर ब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्री राम वशिष्ठ संवाद रूप श्री योग वशिष्ठ महारामायण मोक्ष वेदांत स्मृति प्रकरण ग्रंथस्य पारायणमध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं मुक्त्यर्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। मंगलाचरण श्लोकाः। ओम यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ते स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ते तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शन दृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः। ॐ सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमजरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतं प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुखगनं पूर्णं परं पावनम्। स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तमायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं। ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातो सौ स्वसदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे। विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहम्। तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्री गुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः। पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्दिदीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं बहिरभिकलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने। यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृतजलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये। ॐ श्रीरामचन्द्र परब्रह्मणे नमः। वसिष्ठादि ऋषिभ्यो नमः। योगवासिष्ठ महारामायण शास्त्रं तृतीय उत्पत्ति प्रकरणं लीलोपाख्याने लीला जन्मांतर वर्णनं नाम एक सप्तविंशतितमः सर्गः। श्री वशिष्ठ उवाच लीलोवाच। So we have seen Leela yesterday saying, Evametat Jaganmatah Maya Smrutam Iha Aduna. Aduna Iha Maya Smrutam. Here now it is remembered by me. What is it? Mama idam rajasam janma. Nacha tamo nacha satvikam. Now I am in the janma with the rajoguna predominance. Neither satvikam like earlier I was in the Brahmana Yoni as Arundhati, Nacha Tamasam, I have not fallen down to the Tamoguna level. So that gives an idea, though I will not elaborate to save the time, that each individual's life predominantly is in one guna, and he'll have to struggle first of all to understand and rise his guna from the lower to the higher if he is in lower, and then he'll have to struggle to maintain if the guna is already in the higher. Always the place which we are staying, the situations around, the Vyashti, Samashti, Jnana, Ajnana, Prarabdhas, try to change the gunas in us. We have no other option than to have the wisdom and protect. So if I am already in Tamoguna, I have to struggle to rise to the Rajas. If I am in Rajas, I have to struggle to rise to Sattva. If I am in Sattva, I have to struggle not to fall down to Rajotamo and make use of that Sattva for the higher, namely Tattva. This should be a lesson learned from here. That's why be attentive in your relative circle, friend circle, children, family members, including your own son. स्वतः ही रहता है जिंदगी भर. आप क्या ऐसे बफेलो की तरह सो रहा है? He can't help, you can't help. He is in tamoguna. That's it. Thoda you can go on telling, he can try by changing the food, by taking up activities, even for profit's sake. Slowly in that whole life struggle, he may little evolve from tamas to rajas. Some are too rajasic, activity, dynamism oriented. ये इतना क्यों दौड़ता रहता है, एक एक सेकंड रुकता ही नहीं वो, चींटी की तरह भागता रहता भाग, दैट इज इज रजोगुण. You can't help it. He can be converted into the Sattva-guna. Some Sattva-guna work is given to him, he can become Sattva. The one is already Sattvic, calm and quiet, knowledge-oriented, meditation-oriented, spirituality-oriented. Good. Let him use all that Sattva-guna for the higher. Let him not fall in the trap and company inadvertently of the Rajotamo and lose his glory and fall down like it happened in case of that Vasishtha Brahmana in this story. Okay, that is enough for us to learn and be aware of where am I now, what next I have to go through. Now I'll tell you again anyway. We are seeing Leela so many Janma. The purpose of telling all that is that only. But still, सुनो, कोई ब्राह्मण जन्म तो लेता है, लेकिन उनमें थोड़ा रजोतमो भी होने के कारण he can be extroverted भोगी and he can be तामसिक. कोई जन्म तो शूद्र का लेता है, but in his life some sattvic rajasic gunas also are there. Then he does some activities, he proves to be some person with wisdom also, so it goes on. So his samskaras deserved him to have birth in shudra yoni, but he also has got the samskaras that he can be this and that also. That's how all permutation combination people we see in this world. इतना ब्राह्मण होके ये ऐसा गुस्सा क्यों करता है, उनके अंदर रजोगुण भी है. तो ब्राह्मण को 4 बजे उठकर यज्ञ करना चाहिए. वाई स्लीप्स अप टू 9, born as brahmana but also has got tamoguna lakshana, like that. So it's not to assess everyone, it is how the three gunas work in the world. Tribir gunamayir bhavair evis sarvamidam jagat mohitam. We have to only know about ourselves. Oh ho, though I am Brahmanin, Vaishya, Kula, but still I have some samskara of Satvika. That's how I am going to satsang, doing the seva of the Gurus. It is good. I have to that way evolve only by using those opportunities, abilities in me. Or I am Brahmana, but still, how come so much tamoguna in me, rajoguna in me? So by birth I am Brahmana, but ye hai. So I have to use the Brahmanatva for transcending these two lower gunas by sticking to all disciplines that are subscribed, prescribed for the Brahmanas. See that? This is how within us, not talking outside, they don't listen. Inside us, we have to think, we have to understand, help ourselves. This is enough for that sloka. Now, संसार मंडले नाना योनि ब्राह्मणः तो अवतीर्ण ब्रह्मणः तो अवतीर्णायाः अष्टौ जन्मशतानि मे नाना योनीनि अतीतानि पश्यामि इव अधुना पुनः. So though I am in reality Brahman, but what happened when, why, I don't know. That Brahma Swarupa is forgotten. Now, right now, I believe, remember, Astau Janma Shatani me Nana Yonini Atitani. 800 my Janmas in various yonis have been passed. Pashyami va aduna punaha. Punaha ayami pashyami. I can recollect them. Few of them I am putting in front. She is saying now. Start. Samsara Mandale Devi Kasminchit Abhavam Pura Lokantarabja Brahmari Vidyadhara Varangana. So Kasminchit Samsara Mandale. How many of them are there? In one of the Bhumandala, in one of the Brahmana Mandala, I was the Vidyadhara Vara Angana. Given the ability to travel from one loka to the other. So therefore, don't be surprised कि where we are born, where we are going, where we are. Leave it to the Lord. Oh Lord, जहाँ मुझे भेजोगे, I'll have to go, I'll go. But जहाँ भी जाऊँगा, I'll do my outer Swadharma, inner Paramadharma. Stick to that. Then the places, the company, the situations around should not affect us, bother us. Same time, at our discretion, with our ability, with our little intellection, if we can choose the places which can help for our sadhana and we have the right to choose, ability to choose, efforts to choose, then you do it. पूरा प्रारब्ध पे नहीं छोड़ना, पूरा भगवत कृपा पे नहीं छोड़ना, पूरा खुद ही नहीं कर पाना, कर नहीं पाते. So उसमें we know some places how much ever we try, the prarabdha will not leave us. Yet we have to try. When we try, sometimes we may go to better places. Yet sometimes our prarabdha and our efforts both are not sufficient. the Kripa will work. Therefore, we have to keep on praying for the Kripa. Even though we pray, even Lord wants to do the Kripa, sometimes our Prarabdha being Baliya, he also says, wait. All the three work. Kripa, Prarabdha, Purushartha. Clear once for all for the whole life? Should never have doubt. All the doubts will go vanish when we come to this conviction that wherever I am placed, I'll try to do my outer duties to the best of my ability wisdom, and I'll try to do my inner sadhanas to the best of my abilities wisdom with all conveniences. Like by prarabdha, you are placed in a place full of sounds disturbances outside. You put your effort to get out of that place with little of sacrifices if required. Go to a prashant sthala for your sadhana. ट्राई करो हो जाता है ना पुरुषार्थ से हो जाता कभी नहीं हो पाया doesn't matter you just spend 500 300 you get a headphone you just put it in your ears and just be with yourself even in that disturbing place you can be without disturb see that we have to find our ways and means for our और साधना भगवान ने जो दिया उसको भी यूज करो और अपने अकल को भी यूज करो But then why did the Lord put me in that place of so much distance? Your prarabdha, that you have to listen to those sounds. You have to be among those peoples. You wished for that. You worked for that. You prayed for that. Therefore you are put there. भगवान भी कोई ऐसे accidentally नहीं करते. And that helps you also that you can't be lonely all the time. You are not matured enough. Your prarabdha, vijnana doesn't allow you to be that way all alone with yourself. If you are forcing yourself to be alone, then you will suffer the loneliness. Nobody will be there to help you. That's why the Lord has put you. See, सब जगह पे दिमाग यूज करो तो you can see Bhagwan's कृपा. We have to see what we have to do also. So I became Vidyadhara Vara Angana. I became Vidyadhara Shrestha Yuvati who could travel from one loka to the other. Because that thing was given to me, I used to go to different lokas. Then seeing the different things, getting enchanted, my mind became kalushita. Therefore, Durvasana kalushita. Tata aham manushi sthita. From the great Vidyadhara sthiti, I am pulled down to the Manushya sthiti because of my Manokalushya. And in the Manushya Yoni also, so many things I have done to be and not to be, leading me to next life to take as that of a serpent. Pannageshwara Kamini. So Pannageshwari I became. So Samsara Mandali Anyasmin Pannageshwara Kamini. So in some other Brahmana Mandala, I am sent to become a Pannageshwara Kamini. Maybe Nagalok में गई होगी. है ना? Mostly the Lord will see to send us into this Brahmanda only if the suitable Loka Sharira is givable to us. If not, then कहाँ available है? अच्छा जो पड़ोस वाला मंडल में उधर भेज. To a Jiva, any Brahmandas, that bondage will not be there. To the Lord also, He can send us anywhere. हो गया ना? Like some central government offices. Within the country only, you have to transfer them. But some international samsthas are there. So they will put them in any country. The employees को वो जापान से ट्रांसफर करके हांगकांग में भेजेंगे. From there they will send to India. From here to Singapore. You can send like that. So Vidyadhara Stri, Manushya Stri, Pannageshwari. Three lives of Leela we saw. Then Kadamba Kunja Jambira Karanja Vanavasini. So I was in as a Pannageshwari staying in Kadamba Kunda Jambira Kara Jambira Karanja Vanavasini. So different vanas of Kadamba, Jambira, Kunda. I was traveling as the serpents. So Patrambara Dhara Shyama. So later on, because of staying there, and maybe the earlier punya, whatever little there, Shabari Aham Atha Abhavam. From there, again the serpent say, human life I got, but that was not in towns or cities, not in a Brahmana Gruha or Vaishya Kshatriya Gruha. As a Shabari I was born, tribal, with the clothing as the leaves only. Patra Ambaradhara Shyama Shabari Aham Atha Abhavam. So a dark, complex and tribal women she became. That's how in our today's language we have to understand. You and I also must have born somewhere in some uh, शबरी कुला इन नागालैंड में या कहीं कहीं साउथ अफ्रीका में कहीं जन्म लिए होंगे हम. If our karma phala were deserving that, so too those who are there in those tribal areas, not necessary that when they die they'll be born there only. If their gunas, if their honesties, if their love there for the beings, if that maturity was there with them for whatever, however the reason, they'll directly may go to even Devaloka, isn't it? Gandharvaloka. So, depending on our guna, we'll be sent. Next one, what happened? One, she's a Shabari. Vanavasanaya Mugdha. Ana Sampanna Hamathodhata. Staying in that vana, I was so happy, I was so much deluded. Then what happened to me? I was so lost in that. Always as a Shabari, un पेड़ पौधे creepers, उसी के पीछे she must be always thinking. Therefore, what happened? Gulucha Nayana Patrasta Vanavilasini. The Guluchas are the Nayanas, the Patras are the Hastas. Then the one who staying in the Vana alone is Vilasa for whom? That creeper I became. So she became creeper in the next life from a Shabari. So Vanaspati Yoni also came. Sarpa Yoni also came. She was already in Vidyadhara. Manushya Yoni. In the Manushya also, as a Shabari also. ठीक है अब इतने बता रहे in that how we have to very conscious which guna is predominant and what are our vasanas karmas, so that's how the various shariras. अब ये बात जितना सुनेंगे उतना we become responsible in doing satkarmas. Secondly, we become aware of so many possibilities in this creation. And yet, all these are told for us not to get caught up in them. These are all told by Leela and heard by mother and put it in the book by Valmiki ji, Vaashishtha ji, only to tell us that not necessary that in this way we should jump from one sharia to other, which is called as samsara. We can realize Chidakasha Atma Sthiti, we can free from all that. Main point is that, वो नहीं बोलना. ठीक है देन पुण्याश्रमलता साहम मुनिसंग पवित्रिता वनाग्निदग्धा तस्यैव कन्या भुवं महामुनेः. So sa aham, that me as a creeper, punya ashrama lata, in a most punya divine spiritually elating ashrama, that lata janma came to me. Therefore muni sangha pavitrata, I was purified because of the sangha of that Muni, that the Muni was looking at me, he was touching me, he was pouring that water to me, even all the yajna upasana done jala, वो शायद मतलब इस पौधे में डालते गए होंगे इन दैट क्रीपर. सो आई बिकेम मुनि संग पवित्रता. I became pavitra. But vana agni dagdha. Once the forest fire came, in that forest fire, I was burnt that creeper के रूप में. But because of the pavitrata gained through the company of the saint, tasya eva kanya bhuvam mahamunehe. Tasya mahamunehe kanya bhuvam. So I became the daughter of that mahamuni only. जो लता से वो मुनि कन्या बन गई वो. See that? Mahamuni's kanya. She is born as daughter. Set? Then then अस्त्रीत्ववलदातॄणां कर्मणां परिणामतः राजाहमभवं श्रीमान् सुराष्ट्रेषु समाहशतम्. So कर्मणां परिणामतः, being there as that Muni Kanya, I did such karmas. Those karmas in their parinama consequence are supposed to give me astritva phala. Non-women means the masculine janma. तो अस्त्रीत्व फलदातॄणाम कर्मणाम परिणामता, पुरुष जन्म देने वाले कर्म मुझे वहां बहुत करना पड़ा, करने के फलस्वरूप आई एम बॉर्न एज व्हाट राजा अहम अभवम श्रीमान. I became a great Raja with all the Shriman Sampada. Where? Surashtraesu, in a kingdom by name Surashtra. Saurashtra, Gujarat. How long you were there as king? Samaha Shatam. 100 years I ruled as a king in the Saurashtra. So to become king masculine, whatever the karmas were to be done, I did in that Muni Kanya Rupa. Is it that consciously she wanted to become the king, therefore did maybe or may not. But the karmas are done, so she was taken there. Mostly may not be only. Because the one who knows, they will do only such sadhana karma by which the moksha comes. Or why from the Muni Kanya Janma, she'll become a king, the Kshatriya, which is lower only, no? So unknowingly only she might have done. So maybe Muni employed her in so many activities, Rajoguna activities, dynamic activities, powerful activities. Though she was Muni Kanya, she might be lifting the weights, running, or जो भी यो राजा के लिए लक्षण होना चाहिए, she might have practiced them. That's how in this janma, whatever practices we are doing, that life will come to us tomorrow, next life. याद रख लेना. Keep in mind. Then after becoming Raja for 100 years, Talinam talakacheshu Raja dushkruta doshatah Nakuli navavarshani kushta nashtangika bhavam. So, uh, Raja dushkruta doshatah. Because of so many dosha I have done when I was a king for 100 years. Raja dushkruta dosha. Maybe Praja he might have given himself, or he might have not respected the Brahmanas, or the Vaidika Dharma Paripalana he has not done, Adharma he has done, became Bhogi, or innocent people he might have troubled. Whatever, Raja Dushkruta Dosha, because of that, Talinam Talakacheshu. So, in between the Talavana, which is there near the Kichad type of land, Nakuli Aham Abhavam. She became Nakuli. Nakuli means the jo mongoose that you call as. That which fights with or kills or eats the snakes. That's called Nakuli. I was born from the Raja as a Nakuli. And that also Navavarshani. For 9 years I was there. And while being that Nakuli, I was also having another problem. Kushtha Nashta Angika Bhavam. The Kushtha Roga, the leprosy attacked me, my body. I was suffering as a leper. Leper only the word, the Kushta Rogi ko वही कहते होंगे. So this Kushta Roga Yukta Nakuli she became. That Raja became this because of so many दुष्ट कर्मास he has done. तो यहाँ कर्म हम करते जा रहे हैं, वह हमारा हिसाब बनता जा रहा है. Accordingly, lakhs of janmas. So Bhagavan says to is that immediately to be fructified karma phala, in whichever the sharira it happens, he will give it that. It can be plant, it can be a serpent, it can be a creeper, it can be nakuli, it can be raja, it can be Buni Kanya, itne sare. No, you can, the details are not told, left to your thinking that as a Kushta Rogi and as a Nakuli in that Kichad, how much it must have suffered for the bhojana, for the survival, for the protection. But that's how he did Dushkarma as a Raja. That's clearly given. Raja Dushkruta Doshataha Talakacheshu, Tarinam Talakacheshu, Navavarshani, Kushta Nashtangika Nakuli Aham Abhavam. कुष्ठ नष्ट अंगिका नकुली कुष्ठु के कारण नष्ट हुए अंगवारी नकुली बनी मैं देन वर्षाण्यष्टौ सुराष्ट्रेषु देवी गोत्वं कृता मया मोहा दुर्जन दुष्टाज्ञा बाल गोपाल लीलया सो वर्षाणि अष्टौ सुराष्ट्रेषु again in Saurashtra again 8 years I was born and lived as what you are born gotvam krutam maya I was born as the cow, Gotvam. Then Mohat Durjana Dushta Agnya Bala Gopala Lilaya. So I was there with the Gwala Balas and amidst all their funny activities done with me, the cow or the go, I lived for 8 years. तो 8 साल कौ के रूप में 9 साल नकुली के रूप में in each of the life these many years that she remembered. The details, if you ask, she will tell, but that much is said. Those children used to trouble me, beat me, pull my tail. जो भी था रस्सी से बांध के खींच के ले जाना. So that all are the karma phala. As a Nakuli, whatever were not fulfilled, or the results not given, further actions or karma phalas given as the cow. Next, what happened? Vihangya vairavinyasta vagura vipina vanau kleshena mata chinna adhama vasana iva. So, Vihangya vairavinyasta vagura vipina vanau kleshena mata achinna adhama vasana iva. So, Vihangya. Again, I was born as a bird. And as a bird, when I was living, Vaira Vinyasta Vagura. Vagura means the snare. Vaira means the enemy of the birds, the pakshiyon ko pakadne wala. When he threw the snare, Vipinavano, I was caught. But before that hunter came, the pakshi pakadne wala, Kleshena Mahata Chinna. With all the difficulties, before he came to catch me, I broke open that snare and flew in the sky. Adhama Vasana Iva. Like that, uh, an intelligent person, how he breaks the shackles of his Adhama Dushta Vasanas. I broke open those snares and I freed myself. Like Vamadeva says in Aitareya Upanishad, no? Shena Iva Jarasa Niradiyam. That is, he broke open all his shackles of Ajnana Janita Karta Bhokta, and in the womb only he realized the self. But that example here. So that's how when any of the such things happen, whether they are accidents or train accidents or even the flight collapsed or what do you say, the floods happen, such things of the huge hunters putting those nets, one or two birds you can see escaping, one or two human beings you can see alive. कोई लोग तो every part of the body becomes unrecognizably mutilated and damaged. The other fellow, without bal banka bhi hota hua, from the terrible accident he gets saved. आश्चर्य कर्म फल. He only had the prarabdha to see the mrityu of others. उसका मृत्यु का नहीं है. ऐसा है. So this example of this bird I was caught in the chain means he has put that snare and went. After 2-3 hours I'll go. जितने मिलेंगे उतना, जैसे मछली पकड़ने वाला भी जाल फेंक के तुरंत नहीं खींचता. They put somewhere morning 6-7 o'clock, evening 4 tak they wait. So that maximum fishes are caught. During that time, so many fishes are caught. Some of them understand and somehow they break open and go from somewhere. इसी तरह so many birds must have been caught. This fellow also was, but he could come out. That I remember. So she is remembering that. A part of it she is saying, other things what would have been possible, you can imagine. I can imagine. Next. Vihangya Vairavinyasta Vagura Vinano Kleshena Mata Chinna Adama Vasnaiva. With all the Mahata Klesha, Chedan Karke, I flew. Next. Karnika Kroda Shayasu Vishranta Marina Saha Padma Kutmala Kosheshu Bhukta Kinjal Kayaraha. In my next life, I was there as what? As a Brahmari. As Bhavara, I was born. The honeybee. So, in that Padma lotuses Karnika, I was there with other Brahmaris also. Playing with them, Krida. And whenever I was hungry, I used to eat those kesaras. As a Brahmara, I lived. So, that Vasana must be there in her. So, where is a Vidyadhara Stri or a Muni Kanya or Raja in one life? Shariras. But the Jiva here is a Brahmara. With the Brahmari in that Padma lotus, क्रीड़ा कर रहे वहां, लड़ाई कर रहे, वहीं किंजलकों को खाते में, that was the food. That's also I lived. Another one. Next, Bhrantamuttunga Shrungasu Harin Harinya Harinetraya Vanasthalishu Ramyasu Kirata Hatamarmaya. So, Bhrantam Uttunga Shrungasu Harinya Harinetraya. With a very exciting eyes as a Harini, that year I was in one life, in the next life I was born. So Uttunga Shrungasu Vanasthalishu Ramyasu Bhrantam. In the huge mountains as well as in dense forests, I used to travel. And in that time, as a Harini, Kirata Hata Marmaya, I was killed by a Kirata. When he shoot the arrow, it hit me Marma and I died. So she remembers that. That as a Hiran, I was reveling, enjoying, but a time came when I had to die. My death was by the hitting of a hunter. उसमें वो म्यूचुअल क्या कर्म कर्म फल ऑल ऑफ दैट इज नॉट नोन म्यूचुअल प्रारब्ध एटसेट्रा बट किरात हतम अर्मया I was killed by the kirata with his arrow. So dear life, the Brahmara life, the Lata life, see how many of the lives she has gone through. All of us jivas like that only. Then drushtam nashtasu dikshvabdhi kallolairuhyamanaya matsyambu kachchapat chode mogamananatadanam. So drushtam nashtasu dikshu abdhi kallolair uhyamanaya matsya ambu kachchapat chode. So in one of the life I became Matsya. Then flowing in that waters of the ocean. The ocean was so much disturbed. So to save myself, I was on the shell of a kurma, the tortoise. Then I was hit by a fisherman. He hit, but I could save myself and fell into the water. I was saved. Means in that Matsya Janma, out of so many anubhutis, this terrible anubhava, almost of getting killed, was so powerful that she distinctly remembered. मतलब थोड़ा लग गया होगा, मरा नहीं, जब मछली पानी में गिरा, then she must have in its own way thought over कि thank God I didn't die, and that wound or that pain or that fear might be there in her for a good amount of time. So remembered that she recollecting now. I was on the Kachapa in that waters. The hunter hit me. I didn't die. I fell in water. Next, Pitam Charmanvati Tire Gayantya Madhuraswaram Ulundya Suratanteshu Nalikera Rasanavam. So, Charmanvati Tire. So, in that Charmanvati Nadi banks, Madhuraswaram Gayantya, singing the songs in Madhuraswana, Pitam Nalikera Rasasavam, drinking that coconut juice or coconut juice, putrefied, now it has become like a toddy. I was reveling in that, the banks of that Charmanmati Nati, and reveling with my beloved who was there. That time I was again a Kirati. As a tribal, I was again born. Charmanvati Tire Madhuraswaram Gayantya Nalike Rasa Savam Pitam Pulindya Suratanteshu. So I was born as a Kirata Stri, one more life. So again you can see that's natural for them. You know, like in Indian women folk, how disciplined, strict they are there. But when you go to foreign countries, they drink drinks, they drink alcohol, then they smoke and all. Hare, we can't understand how come they are like that. That is their habit because of their weather, atmosphere, their culture, tradition. Chalta hai all of their attitude. In our country, it's different. Our culture is different. So everywhere it is so. So she was having those vasanas to exhaust that only. She is born there as Kiratini, and there in that Charmanvati Nadi Tira with her beloved, whoever he was, drinking that coconut toddy, she was reveling. So she remembered all that. That was not the only work. All so many things done, but she just says कि मैं ऐसी भी थी एक जन्म में. Next one, Sarasi Sarasalinya Sitkara Madhura Swaram Sarasah Surataihi Swairam Samantascharu Ranjitah Tali Tamala Kunjeshu तरला नननेत्रया क्षीब प्रेक्षण विक्षोभैः Kritam Kantavalokanam. So, Sarasi, I became Sarasa Pakshi. Then Sarasalinya, with my again the male, that Sarasa Pakshi, Sitkara Madhuraswaram. The Madhuraswara of Prema, whatever I used to express with him. Sarasa Suratahi Swairam, Samantaha Charu Ranjitaha. So, giving him happiness and he giving me happiness as a Sarasa Pakshi, I was reveling. So, you can imagine most of the times the fellow who was there, he may be the same and continuing till this life. If the attachment is so much, it can be same. Then Tali Tamala Kunjeshu. In the Talibana Tamala Kunja, Tarala Anana Netraya. With my eyes, with so much of enchanting, etc. Shiva Prekshana Vikshobaihi. Looking with attractive looks, Krutam Kantavalokanam. I was looking at my Kanta. So she remembers all of that. So Pakshis also have their way of expressing that prema, isn't it? So I was like that as a Sarasa Pakshi with my the Sarasa husband, whoever. So that's another one. So the Sarasa Pakshi is different, Brahmara is different, Machli is different. काउंट करो अभी तक कितने जन्म हो गए. So sometime human, sometime Pakshi, sometime Pashu, sometime Vrukshadi, sometime Brahmara आदि. अभी लता भी बन गई. Next one. Kanakasyanda sandoha sundaraiरंग पंजरैः स्वर्गेप्सरोऽम्बुजिन्यासु तोषिताः सुरषट्पदाः मणिकाञ्चनमाणिक्य मुक्तानि करभूतले कल्पद्रुमवने मेरौ यूनासहरतं कृतम्. So Kanakasyanda sandoha sundaraiः अंगपंजरैः स्वर्गे अप्सरः अम्बुजिन्या आशु तोषिताः सुरषट्पदाः. In one life, I became the Apsarasa in the Swarga. So I was having the beautiful Sharira like the gold with all the beauties. So I was making all the Devatas happy there. So once in a while, Mani Kanchana Manikya Muktani Kara Bhutale. With variety of the ornaments I adorned Kalpadhruvamane Merau Yuna Saharatam Krutam. Sometimes I came to the human world also with all my variety of the Alankara Ityadi. Then I played with the human beings also. So the Devakanyas coming to the Bhuloka. For their Vihara, I did that also. So Kanaka Senda Sandoha Sundaraihi. Anga Panjaraihi. My Angas are as Sundara like a Kanaka as well as beautiful. Swarge Apsaraha. I was Apsara in the Swarga. Ashutoshitaha Sura Shatpadaha. The I was like lotus, gave the happiness to the Devatas who are like Brahmara gets happiness from the lotus. Then Manikanchana Manikya Muktani Karabhutale Kalpadrumavane Merau Yunasaha Rathankrutam. In the Meru Parvata Shreni, in the Kalpa Vrukshavana, there also I was there with the Yuva, I did the Krida as an Apsara. Next, Kallola Kula Kachasu Lasat Guchalata Sucha Velavana Vuhaswabdehe Chiram Kurmataya Stitam. So, there is the Latavana, banks of the ocean. In that ocean banks, for some amount of time, I was born again as Kachapa. So, when she was on the backs of Kachapa bank, on the back, Kachapa protected it. That fish must have thought deeply in gratitude about that tortoise which protected it. So, those vasanas might have made her to be born as the tortoise here. So, Kallola Akula Kachasu Lasat Gucha Latasucha. So, the Kacha means the Kichad in Hindi. Kallola and Akula. In the disturbed and deeper quicksand of that place, Lasat Gucha Latasu, where variety of creepers were there. Vela Vana Guhasu. In that Vana Guha, Abdehe Chiram Kurmataya Sthitam. So many days I lived there, having born as the tortoise. तो कच्छप का भी जन्म मेरा हुआ. If we remember, if by some sadhana, we also can see all of that we have gone through. And what's new in the human being also, as yesterday or day before we discussed, do we have the humane qualities? From birth till now, if you see, with unbiased way, if you think, as a Pashu, Pakshi, Vanaspati, Sarpa, how many actions we have done as a human only? Wish Zaharila, thought Aya like a samp. क्रोध गुस्सा किया like a tiger lion. So we lived every animal in human life also because of our gunas and emotions. Next, tarattara tarangasu dolanam sarasalinam chalachada patalishu rajahamsyam maya kritam. So tarattara tarangasu dolanam. So beautifully moving waves, I played on them. Chalachada Patalishu. So too, in the various trees having branches, nicely moving, there also I played. As what? Born as what? Rajahamsyam Maya Kritam. I was born as Rajahamsa. So that Rajahamsa playing on the branches of the tree, which are the shores of the river. In the river also, when the beautiful waves are moving, the Hamsa Pakshi playing in those waves and waters. So I remember that also. जस्ट हम सके अनुभवों को पाने वाले प्रारब्ध या कर्मफल होगा. लिव्ड बॉर्न लिव्ड लाइक हमसा डाइड दैट्स इट. नॉट मेनी प्रॉब्लम्स नथिंग. नॉट नेसेसरी दैट एवरी डॉग कैट एनिमल बॉर्न should be cruelly killed and died only. ऐसी जरूरत नहीं. They live happily as that particular sharira. One day when they become old age come that dies. तो उसको वो वाला संस्कार like human beings. Not that everybody is dying out of accident, out of heart attack, out of murder, out of any of these tragedies. No, no. Somebody is living with all good things. And the time of departure, suddenly nidra में चले गए. 89, 98, 20, 200, 110 years he lived. One day he just died. Simple. Look into his life. There were no problem, no tragedies, no quarrels. अच्छा नौकरी मिला सरकार का, अच्छा ही किया है. रिटायर हो गए, देर ऑल appreciated him. Pension started coming, he took pension, stayed happily, died one day. ऐसे है कि नहीं? Not necessary that every sharira should have all sufferings. Like you and I also, there were years where we were relaxed and comfortable. Next, Gandhamadana Mandara मंदिरे मदनातुराः पतिताः पादयोः पूर्वं विद्याधर कुमारकाः. Again I was born in Vidyadhara Kula and I was in Gandhamadana Mandara Mandira. In the place in the Gandhamadana Parvatas, the Mandara made mandiras. I was there as Vidyadhari. Then Madanaturaha Vidyadhara Kumarakaha Purvam Patitaha Padi. All the Vidyadhara Kumaras who were infatuated, they used to fall at my feet. That also she has gone through. Isn't it? लिखा है इधर स्पष्ट रूप से. Then कीर्ण कर्पूर पूरेषु तल्पेषु व्यसनातुरा चिरम विलुलिताश्मीन्दु बिंबे शिव शशि प्रभा. So like the cooling Chandra Mandala or Chandra Kirana rays, I was there with them, yet never ever I was free from the dukkha. Always something was making me miserable only, even as Vidyadhari, because Paripurna Trupti will come only as the Atma Jnana Atma Anubhava. In any of the yoni, we may get some sukha pleasure there, but nothing gives completeness. Only complete Brahmasthiti only gives completeness. So this way, if you count around 15 to 18 or 20 of them were told. योनिष्वनेकविध दुःखशतान्वितासु भ्रान्तं मयोन्नमनसन्नमनाकुलाङ्ग्या संसार दीर्घ सरितश्चलया लहर्या दुर्वारवातहरणी नरण शरण क्रमेण. So, like a deer also moves from one forest to the other, inner chanchalata, I too, as a jiva, yonishu aneka vida dukkha shatanvitas. Aneka vida dukkha shatanvitas. In various yonis, each one having hundreds of dukkha's to give me, Bhrantam Maya, by me in that way traveled. Unnamasanna manakulangya. So with the mind always in the distress, fear, lack of direction, etc. Even having born as human also still, we lack the correct goal and direction. इसलिए बार बार गुरु भगवान से हम मांगते हैं, मुझे लक्ष्य दिखाओ, मार्ग दिखाओ. We are now भ्रमित only, like in the center of ocean. Let us in boat only, but कहीं भी किसी भी तरफ हम जा रहे हैं, पता नहीं किस तरफ जा रहे हैं. Or we are in the center of a forest, just taking a chance and moving one direction, not knowing that in this direction, if I go, I am out of this deep forest. So too, we are doing karma, we are getting dhana, we are getting vastu, we are having people around, we are getting bhoga. But in some way, Milkar, finally, what is our ultimate goal? We don't know. Therefore, towards that goal is not our path. Somehow we are living. In this way, I was samsarga dirga saritaha chalaya laharya. In the dirga lahari of the samsara and durvara vata harini sarana kramena, I am hit by my own karmas, waves or winds. In the huge ocean of samsara, I was traveling from one sharira to the other, nowhere finding respite, nowhere finding fullness, completeness, nowhere clearly understanding what's the goal and what's the means. So, till this moment, I was going on living like that. In this Janma, O Mother Saraswati, your Kripa, now I could find the goal is to be established in Aham Chidakasha Swarupa Brahmaham Asmi. Now, after this, no Tattva Ajnana, no Jiva Bhava, no Karma Phala, no Janma Marana. Therefore, no need of Bhatakna in all those yonis. That's called as moksha. Moksha from Janma Samsara. Moksha from different shariras. Moksha from Dukkha in different shariras. Permanently. Only in Atma Jnana. In this way, iti आर्षे वासिष्ठ महारामायणे वाल्मीकि उत्पत्ति प्रकरणे लीला जन्मांतर वर्णन नाम सप्तविंशः सर्गः. This is how the 27th sarga. In the 28th sarga now, the Girigrama in which they went to see that Brahmana, that Vishlakshanata of that Grama is exhaustively explained in more than 63 slokas. Beautiful it is. Then Paramakasha Varnanam. Then we'll have, after Pramakasha Varnanam, 29 May, 30th we have Vichitra Brahmanda Varnanam. Then in the 31st, we will be having Yuddha Prekshikastitambara Varnanam. Like that, one after the other sargas tell us ki in this Anantagoti Brahmandas, by the Maya Shakti Paramatma, so many of the worlds are there, jivas are there, their karma phala are there. All of them are Bhagavad Maya Kalpita. With all of them happening, yet nothing is real. Like at one zooming, if you have some ability to see in India, let us say the 140 crore people are living in 30 crore houses. And per house 5 के. In 30 crore houses, 30 crore TV is going on. है ना, होते ना 20 करोड़ तो each में different channels, different things are going on. Yet all of those programs are unreal. इंडिया की बात करो, पूरा दुनिया में अब देखो, isn't it? Some are watching sports, some are watching movies, some are watching something else. Yet is not all that is projected. So may Anantakoti Brahmandas, with Anantakoti Lokas, with Anantakoti Jivas, with their karma phala. If reality is not known, they are real. If the reality is known, they are all projection. When they are real, they create samsara to us. When they are known to be projection, they give us a play. They entertain us. But we will see it as projection only. Remember, only when I wake up from the dream, that the dream is unreal. Till that time, the dream is real only. Dream sukha dukkha real only. So too, only when I awaken to the Atma Sthiti, that this entire Jagat is mithya. Therefore, these problems won't trouble me. If I don't awaken from the dream to sleep as the dream experiences were real, so too, if I don't awaken to the reality, this world of samsara will really give us dukkha and bondage. Therefore, Siddhanta Rupena, understanding Jagat as mithya, keep it away with Vairagya and realize the self. In the realization of the self, the Siddhanta Rupena Srikruta Jagat Mithyatva is really seen. I alone am there everywhere. Where is the Jagat? Other than me. So I am playing in myself with myself. Then it is not a samsara, it's a leela. Then I am seeing myself everywhere. Therefore, I am Purna. That's how the Atmanamurti. Let us seek that. Right, friends? Tomorrow we will see this. Sarga Sankhya 28 वाला. धन्यवाद. सर्वम श्री रामार्पणमस्तु. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. Today we did record 20 shlokas in one day because only we have to see the Leela's Janma. We have not taken every Janma and have not guessed ki what she might have done and all. We only went through the meaning of shlokas and we are intelligent human beings. That's how we think also. So Ishara kafi hai that what he said you can understand. You know? What one more thing is, wherever she got the human life, there every time she had the opportunity of going to a guru and getting Brahmajnana and get mukti. The other option was in every human being as an ego could do papa punya karma. Some by one's own choice, greed, etc. Some by some compulsions and fear, some by others' promptings. They became cause for so many lives. In this life also as a human, she lived, she had all opportunity again for the karma phala, and she also had the opportunity for jnana phala moksha. Second one, she opted here, that's why Mother Saraswati came and she gave her the Brahma Jnana. आपके हमारे जिंदगी में ऐसे so many we might have gone through this life also, so many karmas we have done, but somehow we are studying the Brahma Vidya. If that Brahma Vidya is fulfilled by us in this very life with full commitment, isn't it? Here alone the moksha. इह ये सर्वे प्रविलियन्ति कामाः इह एव सः muktim prapnoti. If we have not reached to the peak of the Atmanubhuti, great sadhana done yet, accordingly the next life will come. In that also, one side sadhana convent life will be given, other side, if still any of the strong prarabdhas we have to go through, that will be given. So he'll be born as a sadhaka, will go to a rishi ashrama, but still, if his prarabdha is there, he'll have diseases there, he'll have enemies there, he'll have insults there. सब चलता रहेगा क्योंकि उसको भी खत्म करना है ना. So by the study of Shastra, when one gives up all the punya papa karma and only does sadhana karma, then this janma marana nonsense goes away. When the Adhyatmic sadhana becomes matured, he realizes self, that's moksha. Thank you. Sarvam Ramarpanam Om Purnamadaha Bol Shri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai, Vaashishtha Bhagavan ki jai, सरस्वती मैया की जय, लीला माता की जय, सब संतन की जय, सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. धन्यवाद. Come to study Vakya Vritti sometime.